you're welcome here. And I really don't know any other way to say it. You know, not supporting a capital campaign for this church is like saying, I'm not gonna, why bother paying my mortgage? I mean, it's so much. I've even thought about this. Could you imagine the world just without religion? I would hate to imagine a world without religion. So I'll keep it just that simple.
But I think the reason that it's important for us to support the capital campaign is because of the history that this church had before we got it, that we've inherited, and we want to pass it on even stronger. Like my dad once said, he said, you know, when he was involved with charities, he said, Andrew, he calls me Andrew, when you ask people to give for money for a charitable cause, they'll feel better about that than any other money they spend. And we do. I'm very proud of what we do.
I am most excited about this capital campaign's ability to allow us to live our open and affirming message. For too long, our physical space was not welcoming, particularly to individuals who have clear accessibility issues. Now that's no longer the case. We are able to offer a truly accessible experience from the added lifts, from the handicapped accessible bathrooms, through the improved walkways and railings. This is a place for everyone, and it is a place that says, you're home, and we're happy you're here.
Well, I think the capital campaign is going to provide the ability for us to proceed with the things that we have, that we do, such as the blood drive and two-way street and confirmation and FCLC and everything that the church does is going to require a decent facility, and we have to maintain that.
Well, I would say First Congregational I consider as my home, my spiritual home, would be, first of all, the pastors, and it's Pastor Scott and then Pastors Bill and Laura Hoagland. They speak to you. They don't speak at you. And they put the sermon in layman's terms, which I need.
Some of the reasons I think that we like this church include that it's very inclusive. It has a long history of inclusivity that goes way back.
When I sat down in the pew and the service began, the very first words coming from the pulpit were, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. I had never heard that in a church or really in other aspects of my life, and I knew this was a new home for me.
No matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you're welcome here.
As church leadership was talking about why we should give to this capital campaign, unbeknownst to me, as we were sitting there in the sanctuary, my young daughters were listening. And it's always amazing what they hear, but later that day, Robin and I were sitting around the table, and one of my young daughters came down, and she had this little bag of money she had counted out from her piggy bank. And she said, Daddy, I want to help the church. And she gave this little bag. It was less than $1. But in that small gift, just like the widow's mite in my mind's eye, it speaks volumes to why we give back to the church. It's because of what this church means to all of us as a faith community and this journey we take together. My daughter saw that, and her love, the love that she receives here, she gave back. For all that you experience in this church and faith community, for all that we do and all the missions that God calls us to, an abundant life and abundant giving, I ask you, please, give as you are able, and maybe be even beyond what you are able, to continue this journey with us in the missions and vocation that God gives us here